everyone, and welcome to the newest edition of The Insider, the ongoing video series that keeps you up to date on all things IPW. I am the voice of IPW, J-Rod. Now let's talk about Super Smash. The event started off strong with a tag team title match. We thought it was going to be Max Morrison and Thomas Bailey of The Forgotten, but Morrison had other plans. Apparently taking his old friend Jimmy Shawlin's advice, Morrison took initiative and sent Thomas Bailey to the back and brought out a potential new recruit to have a tryout, a returning Jason DeMilo. Tag team champions Real Hype are chasing legacy at this point, as they've taken out nearly the entire tag team division. This night was no different, as Morrison once again let his partner get pinned. Morrison tried to shake Shawlin's hand after the match, but Shawlin justifiably didn't trust it. Surprisingly though, Morrison let DeMilo know that his cheating and dirty tactics disgusted Morrison, and DeMilo will not have a place on The Forgotten. Has Max Morrison truly turned over a new leaf? Jeremiah Goldmaid accompanied his client Anderson Knight to the ring and once again dug into our referees, especially Gary, who he had suspended back at Off the Chain for punching him in the face. He told Anderson Knight if Anderson could win his match tonight, he would be the #1 contender for the Michiana Championship. His opponent, Chad Alpha, is someone who has had a great 2023 and would be a fine representative of that title if he were to get a shot at our champion, TDG. At the height of the match, it looked like Anderson Knight was about to put Chad Alpha away with his signature running elbow smash. But Chad moved, and Knight accidentally decapitated referee Chris. Chad would roll Anderson up, but there was no referee to make the count, until referee Gary surprised everyone by sliding into the ring and counting the pin. Jeremiah Goldmaid was absolutely furious with referee Gary and made several challenges to Gary. Gary has clearly had enough of Goldmaid and invited Goldmaid to get into the ring with him. Goldmaid, of course, refused, and the Gold team made their way back with their tails between their legs. Unfortunately for Chad Alpha, this match was not a #1 contenders match. Only Anderson Knight would have that privilege. So it's back to the drawing board for Alpha, but at least he picked up a big win. One half of our scheduled main event, #1 contender Josh Raymond made his way to the ring to talk trash about IPW champion Jamal King. Josh thought he would catch King off guard and called King out to do the match right here, right now. To Raymond's surprise, King was more than happy to oblige, and the main event began right in the middle of our show. This contest was a neck and neck all the way through. Raymond trying to soften up King for the Coriolis, King trying to soften up Raymond for the Supreme Lock. Just when it appeared that Jamal King was building momentum, Josh Raymond dodged a King attack and looked to counter, but King's attack caught referee Gary, knocking him out of commission momentarily. While the referee was down, Josh Raymond caught Jamal King in the Coriolis and shocked everyone when he was able to force Jamal King to tap out. Unfortunately for Raymond, the referee was still down. As Raymond was trying to revive the referee, King took advantage, rolling Raymond up and grabbing a handful of tights to steal the win out from under the challenger. The crowd was a bit stunned. Josh Raymond should have become the champion with a submission victory over Jamal King. Then Jamal King had to cheat to win the match. Josh Raymond was fuming, but it was over. His 2-year unbeaten streak is over, and he is no longer the #1 contender. The ongoing brawl between Big Jorge and LaDon Sanders continues. As it appears, they've never stopped fighting. They fought through the curtain and all the way through the parking lot, where Big Jorge stole a minivan from a distraught fan, threw LaDon Sanders in the back, and drove off, kidnapping LaDon Sanders. Next up was our Patreon exclusive match. Terry Van Avery made his way to the ring to say he is done standing on the sidelines for Ren Jones and wants to stay active while he waits for Jones to return. Thomas Bailey reappeared, trying to one-up Max Morrison and recruit Van Avery to the Forgotten after Morrison failed to recruit Jason DeMilo. Van Avery refused and challenged Bailey to a match instead. Join our Patreon at the IPW regular tier or higher to see it now. It is worthy of note that Van Avery came to the ring with a shirt that had his hit list on it. Big Jorge was crossed out, as was Dre Jacobs. Ren Jones was on the shirt, and there was a fourth line with question marks. we are happy to announce that Ren Jones has finally re-signed his IPW contract, and Terry Van Avery will not have to wait much longer. These two will collide during our return to Detroit, Michigan, as IPW presents Pink Out at Big Pink on Sunday, October 22nd. I was interrupted by a horn honking from the parking lot. It was the stolen minivan returned, but this time LaDon Sanders was driving, and he had kidnapped Big Jorge. These two fought some more, brawling their way to the back once again, and there is still no indication that they have stopped. Josh Raymond would return to the ring absolutely beside himself about losing his title match to Jamal King, and justifiably, if we're being honest. Raymond said he was willing to fight anyone in any type of match to prove he should still be #1 contender. He would regret those words, as Casey Tempest emerged from the back carrying a bundle of fluorescent light bulbs and challenged Josh Raymond to a hardcore match. Raymond reluctantly agreed, and the brutality began. Raymond and Tempest tore each other apart until a violent fall through the light tubes and into a bed of thumbtacks was enough to keep Casey Tempest down for the 1, 2, 3. Josh Raymond would leave a winner in the main event, but not over Jamal King, and not for the IPW Championship. That concludes this edition of The Insider. Join us on Sunday, October 8th at Ruggers Up and Under in Kalamazoo for the 2nd annual Homecoming.